Yeah, I just want to make a statement. I have a belief, based on what I've seen, that his intent is to develop this into lots. That's where the money is for. He's not making any money off the land on the top portion. You guys know he's not going to make any money off of it. We're subsidizing his losses in the meantime till the economy improves. And then he's going to develop. Plain and simple. But I have one question. What are the numbers required to pass this thing? Where are we now?
The number to pass it is going to be 352 approvals. We currently have 333, and we have some that will be in the mail either today or tomorrow. And we have some out there that the block captain have not turned in. I do not count them until I have them in my hands.
Okay.
Mr. Lightyear, let me comment on your first point. If that were true, that we know it's incentive for him to keep the course open, he can close it now and save the pain and suffering of keeping the golf course, trying to cut costs or possibly subsidizing above and beyond the 250, costing him money all along. There's no reason, if he was really going to develop it, he would just close the course. There's no incentive for him to keep it open and risk the possibility of continuing to lose money. That makes no sense as a developer. If you're a developer, you're just going to close the course. If that was really his intent, he closed the course, let it lay fallow for 5 to 7 years, and not take the risk of losing more than the 250 and be done.
These guys are personal things.
See, I mean, that's all that is.
You can say that, but
I mean, it's not, we said it was plain and simple. It's not plain and simple.
it's plain and simple to me that if he's here, he's going to develop.
Okay. Well, again, that's a thought.
So we're subsidizing it during the hard times till it gets to that point. It's not legal.
And you could be right.
Yeah.
Mr. Van Milhoff just indicated he'd like to bring us to speak.
I just have a question to what his statement was like. You were saying about the guarantee.
Wait, sorry, after everybody speaks.
Okay, sure.
After Mr. Milheim, is there anybody else that wants to speak so we can close off and take a couple questions? What's your name?
AJ.
Okay. Thank you. Dan?
I'd just like clarification from the board on two things that have been said. First of all, my understanding that if we do not have the agreement filed July 1st, which means we have to have the 352 yeses in hand by July 1st, that Mr. Nash will close the course.
Our opinion is he will not close the course. Since
But you
he has
stated
a rough
that.
idea of where we are. We haven't told him the exact number, so I think.
But you stated earlier that the document that came back went from may to will close.
Yes.
So that's.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons we're filing the agreement before 1 July. Even though we don't have the amendment signed yet, we're showing good faith that our intention is to continue to work to get the signature.
Okay. And the second question or clarification that I want to have in reading the agreement, okay, even though Mr. Nash may be profitable this year, next year, the following year, he can continue to absorb money from us for the purposes of rebuilding the reserves to replace the greens and the golf carts.
We have acknowledged from the start that the greens and the golf carts are part of the maintenance of the course. He has no reserves at all.
So even though he's profitable going forward, he can still.
Okay, let me correct you right there so you don't give people a misconception. If you look at our profit and loss statement for the association, each year we put money in the road replacement and in the fence fund. That is not profit money. That is we are prepaying. It's a, what do you call it? It's a liability. So on the profit and loss statement, that doesn't show up as being our money, even though it's still in our bank account. Okay. So if he puts $40,000 in the greens fund, that's not going to show up as, that's not profit. He's prepaying accounts that he's payable he's going to have to do when he redoes the green. We do our books exactly the same way for the association.
But the point is, though, that he can be profitable even with our money, and he can be setting money aside.
Right now, he is not funding his reserve funds as he's supposed to do because he's had a loss.
Exactly.
When he gets to the point where he's not at a loss, he will fund those funds. Okay. Operations of the course is all this money could be used for. Can't use it to build a new restaurant, replace stuff in the restaurant, put a new parking lot in, things like that. Let me read you. I think I marked it.
You don't have it marked, I've got it highlighted.
But I know there's another sentence.
20 seconds.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a statement in here, I thought I underlined it, that the association has the right to cancel the agreement if he's property. Now, I want to say this to you because we discussed this as nauseam. If he makes a $25,000 profit, do you want us to cancel the agreement? And then next year you loses $100,000 and he comes back to us and says, I want you to share the loss with me or I'm going to close the course. Do we want to keep the course open? That's the question. If you want to keep it open. Somebody said, hey, if you sell the course, you can go negotiate with the person that buys it. Sure we can. You said you wanted to keep the course open. Are you just trying to fund his pocket or you're trying to keep the course open? Now, we're limited, can't give more than $40 a month because that's what the amendment says.
Larry, what I was focusing on was assessment of maintenance, paragraph 2, or point 2, second sentence. The association further agrees that the assessment may be used for funding of reserve accounts to include, but not limited to, maintenance and replacement of greens and golf carts. Which I interpret as saying he can be profitable, but he can continue to assess us until those reserves accounts are fully funded.
Yeah, what Larry said, Van, is profitability includes funding reserves. In other words, you're not profitable if you're going to fund reserves. He's going to put
$100,000 in reserve, that's not
profitable. That's all funding, and any business owner is going to put money aside. The last person that signed up, and I would assume this is the last person who wants to speak, is Mr. AJ Patel.
Yeah, actually, I'm really against favoring the NAS and them against. My vote is no. But my concern is that if we pass this, rather than paying everybody $480, why don't you have some kind of, who has a house on the golf course, let them pay a little bit more, and who don't have a house on the golf course, let them pay a little bit less. That's my first question. Second question, due to respect, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the second person.
Mr. Clark.
Clark. In his opening speech, he mentioned that whoever cannot afford the house in this neighborhood, they can sell it and move out. Before he said this word to all our homeowners, he has to say same words to Mr. Neil Ness. If you cannot run the business, you better sell it and go. Rather than telling us we cannot afford, or whatever our financial condition, we have to sell our house and move out. So no one can tell me what I have to do in my neighborhood or my house, if I can stay here or sell it. It's my personal thing. So I'm really opposing his word. And second thing is that whoever has a house on the golf course, why don't you charge them more? Because more or less they are playing more golf than anybody else.
Let me answer that. I don't play golf. I don't know even what green I'm on, if I'm on a green. But we cannot charge golf course owners more than the exterior lots, because our covenants is written that all lots are equal. If we change it, Florida statute says 100%, and that's 2/3 of the homeowners, or 100% of the homeowners that would have to approve that.
Let me tell you, whenever Mr. Nance, he sold all the lots. Whoever has the house on the lot, they're charging more price, and who don't have the lots on the golf course, they're charging the less. Whenever he did that, same thing we can do too.
And we should change our bylaws. We can change, like you are changing now.
100% of the homeowners would have to approve that.
There's a special Florida law that reviews, that addresses changing the way lots are assessed, because people were abusing it in the homeowners association today. If you want to change the way the laws, the covenants state we do assessments, it requires an amendment to the covenants, and every person that lives in the community must sign it. Yes.
Okay, can I say something to that effect? Okay, in the direct response to that, I live on the lake. We have our own Lake Owners Association. I pay Marcus Point Association dues plus the Lake Owners Association dues. You can do the same thing in a private. You can form your own group, pay directly to the golf course outside the association.